So, we are going more practical, but before everything else, I need only one short story to told you about the things mostly people mentioned in spiritual, but not knowing what it is. It is what we call synchronicity, which is the term developed and taught by Carl Gustav Jung. I don't know if you know how the history tell the story about how Jung made the theory about the synchronicity. Even if you know, I will tell you. So, Jung worked with one of her patients, older woman, which have neurotical impressions because he felt her husband will die. And Jung worked with her, and he find out that she had a first husband which died. And a few days, or that day in the morning, she saw a pigeons on the window. Very large amount of pigeons, which never happened before. And she felt, oh, something will happen. Later, her husband died. Now, in the future, she all again saw the large amount of pigeons one day on the window. And that day, the second husband died. So, Jung asked if this was prediction, or maybe she did that with her attention. He realized neither. The both consequence in the universe as pigeons on the window and dying of her husband would not be present without her observation of that two similar and very strange phenomena for her. And mostly people know this story by this. But mostly they don't know the ending of the story. And the ending is fascinating. I will now tell you, if I want you to remember last New Year, I want you to remember the last New Year. And I want you to remember when somebody ring a bell on your door and you opened the door and when you saw a Santa Claus. Now I did to you something which is called fake memory. You invest a part of a brain, not for imagination. I didn't tell you imagine a door and ringing a bell, so you are opening a door and you're seeing the Santa Claus. No, I sought to you try to remember, and with this sentence, I already implant the fake memory of something which never happened. Right now, the Santa Claus who is ringing at your bell will be present in your lucid dreaming much more clearly than all others' instructions and imaginations. And you will see later that mechanism when I speak to you about the lucid dreaming. You know the story with Jung and the lady when later did psychotherapy. You know what Jung find out? He find out that the first memory about the pigeons on the window was the fake memory. It never happened. She put that memory in the moment in the future when she saw the second pigeon. She just had a mind fuck thinking that it already happened. But it didn't happen. So, if that didn't happen in the first place, there will be no synchronicity, because the second will be the first pigeons. But how she can know the future of something which didn't happen again, because it is only the first time? You realize where I'm putting you? Her mind, using a fake memory, it is the same outcome as it was happening for real. I don't know if you have habit to watch cartoons and movies when you have in your childhood, in your early childhood. Sometimes, especially with the horror movies, you thought that some horror movies even have some scenery and scenes which eventually, when you repeat the movie in later in your life, you see that there was no such scenery. You invent them. Sometimes there was some part, especially of the gardening and the houses, when you went on the summer vacation, when you thought that it is something like that. Now when you go, you see it is completely different. But in your mind, it was a fake, but real for your selfhood. Anytime you close your eyes and try to remember now, when you know what is real, you will never imagining the real object, but those which is in the fake memory. No matter how fake it is for you, it is real for you. Why I'm speaking this? Everything that I will speak, the tips about the meditations and the rituals, come from the fact that we are building the fake attainment. We are cheating. We are bypassing the process of our brain, which know that you are doing bullshit. You are accustomed to walk on the path. That path have the start and the goal. You have the line between, and you have every other paths which are dividing. But in spirituality, you never walk on the path, because that is the way of your mind. He wants to be secured. He wants you to know that you are on the right path. The path of spiritual, it's the path of shortcuts. The little streets only known by people who live in that town, which will never be known to tourists. You need to use this kind of roads, secret passage and shortcuts, so you can arrive on destination much sooner than your brain expect. Why? Because your mind will not have time to build a failure, convincing you that it is impossible. When I say to you, please sit in your asana and meditate and enlighten yourself, what you will ask me? You will ask me, how? You will ask me, how much time I need to sit there? If I said to you, you need only a moment for enlightenment, you will never sit, because you know that you will never reach that moment by waiting. It will never fall like a seconds, which eventually cannot be stopped. That moment, it's a part of quality change of your being, not quantity, which chance by natural. So everything that now I will speak It's a part of that quality change. Not logical, but abnormal logical way. It is so stupid that it will work. It is like the evening when you go to the girl without prepare, without new shoes and new clothes, without money on the pocket, but you will still get a good time because you are not expecting anything and your mind is just as an open book. So, for about ritual of Pentagram, I will talk to you tomorrow about some other forms, because if I talk you now, I need you to talk about what we are calling the body of light technique, which is a wake method of what we call out-of-body experience. It is perfect to do the exercise of ritual of Pentagram doing not by you, but imagining yourself before you, like you are an teacher and you have a replicate of yourself as a student on dramatic university, performing the whole ritual before your eyes without you interrupting. The second way, you need, when you saw that second person doing the ritual, you need to see yourself from his eyes and doing the ritual there, not from him. But I will tell everything, it has very important, crucial details which will secure what we are calling the mind projection, the transfer of consciousness, which eventually give you something so remarkably that we are calling this astral projection, which it's quite nonsense term, but we will go on everything. When you are doing meditations, you're familiar with waves of successes which are totally not relevant for your daily success. Simply, when you have 2 days in a row, when you find something remarkably in your meditation, what you need to do, when you try to repeat that tomorrow, you will see that tomorrow will be so less successful than the day you achieve it. The third day, when you want to repeat it, it will not work. And you will see that, how to say, the waves of positiveness and negativeness inside of your practice, which are not concerned about your attainment at all. In any part, no matter how good you feel, no matter how you are good in performing, there will come totally negative periods of performing without any success. Now, I'm a pianist. I'm a professional piano professor, and no matter how much I try, especially with hard works as Rachmaninov, Scrying, or Chopin, after a week, if I start to work more and more, I will reach a peak when everything will start to fall apart. If I start to work more, the more I will start to make mistake, which is totally contrary of the logic few days before. Why? Very simple. When you learn to ride a motorbike, when you are a beginner, you will never fall because you are too attentive. You have fear, and that fear will stop you to break the limit. But when you feel relaxed and you think that you know to ride a motorbike, you just think, you will easily cross a line because you will be so relaxed without attention on the road. And usually people on motorbike are killed not in the beginning, where they are beginners, but later when they are masters. You need to change the way of your meditation. How? Very simple. You will do something which you will never think it is a part of doing. That is break, a pause. When you reach a moment in going to gym, when you work hard, you need a day of not working in a gym, so your muscle can get bigger and stronger. Your muscle are in the best position of grow when they are not working. You need to have a break in your daily training, because without break you will much less, improve. The same it's with the mind. Do you really think that there is a break? If you're doing a ritual, let me say 6 days in a row, and the 7th day, most important day of eventual success, I said to you, now don't do anything. What you will do in that day? You will be upset. You will think more about the ritual than if you are performing it, because you will be upset and afraid that breaking and pausing will harm you. But you are not realizing that you are putting your intention, always thinking about that empty day. And you will do intentionally more about that ritual than all 6 previous days of working. You need to have a break. Without stress, without neurotic, start to feel yourself, and you will see that crush of ego wanting you to continue to work, because if you stop, you will fail. Try to grab that neurotical sensations, because it is you. It is your slavery who want to speak to you. You must work. You must work. So you will never attain what is need to be attained by work. I will tell you something which is in my case. For those who are familiar with the great operation of Abramelin, which lasts from 6 to 11 months, mostly people think that each day of repetition, the practice for attainment, what is called the knowledge and the conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel, that you are each day closer and closer to Angel. No, that's the point. You are more far away from it. And the moment realizing that the repetition of practice, it's not to do anything with the appearance of the angel, who is always right behind the back all time, but you are not perceiving him. The repetition it serves so you can reach the line of breakthrough, knowing that there is no days or months who will give you the knowledge and conversation. The moment before attainment of the angel and the first day of the Abramelin operation, it's the same distance of attainment. That's the whole point of Abramelin operation. You not need, like in piano, each day I play, I know more notes. Each day I play, I know more composition. No, quite the contrary. And this is exactly why so small amountage of people getting the final attainment. Because we are obsessed with hard work, with slavery work, with the work itself, not realizing that work have 2 aspects. active and passive. Sometimes not working will give us more things when we are working. And this is the point how sigils magnificently work and give us fruits. We will talk tomorrow about sigils. About meditation, there is a wonderful tricks which you can use to achieve wonderful parts of a brain which don't need to use any substance, any mantra, any asana, nothing. You can do it in any part of a day, anywhere, in any outcomes. The first thing, it's a little bit tricky, but if you realize this trick, you can have spectacular success. When you speak to someone, try to call your father for experiment and speak about for him totally irrelevant things. But while you are speaking to him, try to listen what you are speaking. It is a trick. Whenever speak, like me now, not be the tongue who speak, but the ear who listen things that I'm speaking. And it will be mind fuck for the brain, because you are investing logical path of things that need to be said, but now I want to be ear like a pupil who listen to the teacher who are speaking. You will be in the same time the one who listen and the one who are speaking. It is not so simple as you think. Now, whenever you teach something to somebody, those who are receiving a teaching like you are in silent. I am the one who is speaking. Except only one case. In the case of the knowledge and conversation. This is only one case when you get knowledge while you are talking, not listening, because you are talking to yourself. The knowledge and conversation, it's a trick of attention. Try that when you are speaking. Go out and speak with your neighbors, but try to take care of what you are speaking like you are passive observers, and you will be stunned that there will be two selfhood in your mind, the one who speaks and the one who listens. Try. The second thing, it is perfect when you're watching. For those who are American, it's difficult, but for us who are not American, it is great. I'm not speaking about economical situation, I'm speaking about watching movies with the subtitles. Now, turn on the subtitles in your language. I'm trying to learn English and I am shut off, the subtitles, so it can improve. But in this, turn on the subtitles. Now, read the subtitles, trying not to read the ideas. Read the words without the meaning. Don't repeat what it means. When you read ship, you not need to think about the ship on the sea. It is just a sound of ship. You need not to know what it is. Like pretending that you are watching the subtitles on the language which you are not familiar. It is quite difficult than it may be now for you to realize. But once you get in the trick, your mind will go in such spectacular trance where you are not attracting to the meaning, because you're attracting to yourself. You are not reading the meaning of the words, but you are now diverting to your selfhood, who are open but not receiving anything. It is something which Buddhists will affiliate as the plane of shunyata, as the emptiness, because there will be things, but there will not be meaning for them. You will read them without the meaning. Also, try to watch the clock, the digital clock on your phone. You will see that when you see the numbers, instantly you will say the number in yourself. Try not to do that. Try to watch number 8 without knowing that the value is 8. Try to look it as a glyph, as a picture, without the meaning. The full success in this will, and it may take a while, but once you learn the trick, not for mind to realize the concept from it, but blocking. Like when you talk to me, I just trying not to realize what you are talking. It's much more difficult because the nature of our mind wants to have meaning what you are speaking. But if you deliberately trying to cut off the meaning, you will reach a part of a selfhood which you never experienced before. It is a magnificent exercise. When you are performing a ritual, try imagining like you are going to cinema and listen what that people speaking. Try to invest energy not in performing, thinking which pentagram, which name, which side of the circle. No, you're just artistic listener going to theater, and now you want to listen what he's speaking. You will be delighted to see how strong energy you will rise by this movement. How? Because you are so much pushing memory of your mind to do something else. Like in computer, you are opening so much program that the main program of control, which is always talking to you, this is bullshit, it's failing. You are completely destroying the whole memory of your mind by doing something which your mind don't expect. It is like in fighting in the streets. People always have some tricks what to do, but if you are doing something which they didn't expect, they will be in shock. So you can use it and counter the strike. There is a trick which needs to be performed a couple of days, but once you learn this trick, try to listen my words now without knowing what I'm speaking at all. You don't need to learn what is sentence meaning. You just need to listen the words without the idea of sentence, idea of story. You don't need to realize what I'm speaking. Next time when you are watching this webinar, try to do this, and it will a couple of minutes and your mind will reach a very specific trance where you will feel very energized. I don't know the word in English when you are full of energy. Like I'm full of bullshit. So, try to change. You are meditating. Never repeat. And you will see repetition is the main enemy in lucid dreaming and out-of-body experience. Anytime that you want to repeat success, even in the real life, the second time you will experience failure. you will experience disappointment. So never repeat, never plan, never prepare. Do. There is no practicing, there is doing. There is no projecting, there realizing in performing. You are not trying to do the ritual of Pentagram as your daily practice. Try to imagine that this is your last day of life, that you will die in a couple of minutes. How you will perform a ritual? Will you perform it differently? Of course. So, why didn't do this kind of practice all day? Think that it is the last few minutes in this life. What kind emotions you will attract? Thinking about your loved ones, thinking about the God, thinking about enlightenment. Who is stopping you to perform it exactly this way all the time? Think how beautifully you can change your own practice life. I hope you have practice life, right? So, in these little things, sometimes when you go out, even if you have modest clothes, if you put some detail like, I don't know, ring or tie or color of the shirt, you will be much attractive than if you put hundreds of dollars not looking original at all. Be original in your daily work. Try to think it is your last couple of minutes. Try to invest, it is now or never. This kind, it's the kind which will bring the Holy Guardian Angel before you. Not repetition. Repetition will draw him away because you are boring. You are the girl who are doing everything that the boy don't want. Eventually that girl will leave that boy. You need to change the way you talk to her, change the cinema you took her, change the music you want to listen to her, with her, change the way you make love to her. Change, but without preparation. It's different when you're doing ritual, when you want to change something, than when you are changing something right in the moment. It's a totally different kind of stuff. Now, perfect example, took the book from the shelf, opened it randomly, and took a word. The first word your mind see. But you need not to know what that word means. Repeat aloud without knowing what it is. If I read the Father, the word Father, I need not to know what Father means without knowing emotions but about my father who will die. I don't need to know anything. Just read a word without meaning. You will see how your brain will give you totally different kind and different successes in all your practical life. It will return you 10 times in better way that you are giving now this change, which he will accept as a liberation. Finally, you are doing something good. There is a couple of things you can do it in your daily life which will bring trance into your mind very fast. One good catch is to do it when you're outside walking. Now, to do this, you need to have straight line, not to have a slalom and moving around between the trees, between the people. You need to have at least 100 meters of straight line without watching the traffics and everything. So choose a path maybe in your garden. I don't know. You can find 100 meters that you can have a straight line without going too much left or right. Now, I want you to imagine that you are on a circus ball. The whole planet, it's one giant circus ball, and that you are on the top of that ball. When you are moving your legs, you are moving that ball to make circles, but you are not moving. You are staying in one place with your hand, with your legs, just moving the globe. It is very essential to feel that you are in fact not moving, but being in one place. You know, like in circus, the clowns were doing this similar stuff with the balls being in one place and with the legs moving. You will do this for the entire planet. Very, very soon, in a couple of minutes, your mind will change a way it works, because expecting space and time coordination, now you are changing it, and it will have no time to adapt to that change, because all these years you are arriving from one point to another. Now that another point, it's arriving to you, and your mind will be, oh, but who is now walking? Earth or you? You will need that moment of change, and you will see how this very little change, you can use it anywhere. The trance will be reached a couple of minutes. Much different kind of trance than you are relaxing yourself, you know, repeating the numbers, calling down, calming, relaxing. And no, this is totally another approach which your mind will accept, like a dog will accept a new ball for playing. I'm not speaking that you are a dog. Your mind is a dog, which eventually is the same. One new phenomenal exercise which can change the way your practice is be done by you in billions of times. By this little practice, you will improve your own mind like all spiritual practice you had in your life, and then double all that sense of improvement. It's very simple. You will start with your right leg. Sitting, I hope I can try this. I hope I will not fuck it, because this is my wife's computer. So, this is my right leg, okay? With my right leg, I'm doing the clockwise circling. Very relaxed, without stressing, like pendulum. My leg, it's like clock pendulum doing the clockwork. I think it is called clockwise. You know, solar movement, like clock, from left to right. But try to do not spiral, not small, but big and the same circle. Do it for maybe 10 times. You don't need to break. You just need to spin with the same time, with the same pace, with the same attitude. You don't need to change anything. Try to build perfect circle. Perfect, not, you know, not stretched. Sometimes people doing the rectangle. No. Just full circle. While doing this with your right foot, without stopping your leg, before you start to write number 6 from the top to the end. Try now to do this, and you will be amazed how your mind will block your right leg, because the hemispheres of the brain for this movement are separated, and your mind cannot doing the same hemisphere in the same time. It can be practiced, and when you reach a point when you can have, without stopping the leg, doing this movement, your brain will be in specific kind of informations, how to say, changing, which you will never reach by any other exercise, meditations, rituals, or ever. This stupid, very simple exercise will be the gym for your brain, the best gym that you eventually ever have. Try it. It is so good that a week or two doing this for your brain will increase what we are calling the possibility of astral projection. We will talk tomorrow. It is essential techniques for your brain before transferring the consciousness into the body of light. We will talk about it tomorrow. Don't think it now. It is like warm-up exercise, like Viagra for your selfhood, so you can live. There is a lots of different small things that you can change when you are building a circle. When you're doing the ritual of the pentagram, you are building the circle. Why? Because you want protection. From what? From your own stupidity, limitations, fear. From the demons you never saw. From the angels you will never attain to see. From the destiny which the whole universe from the beginning of time predestined to you. But you are simply doing the circle, and now that fate will skip you. Do you really think there is any need for banishment? Try to do the ritual of the pentagram without the circle. Try to expand the circle so everything in the universe will become the part, not of the circle, but of the sphere. Is there any way you can be saved from your own fate, own will? If there is anything harm from you, then don't close the circles. Say, come to me right now. I want everything evil and bad to experience now. I don't want to be hidden from it. I want it in my circle. And you will see that your fear will not be there anymore. You know, my little girl, she was, of course, frightened from the darkness. And when I asked her, what is in the darkness that you are afraid? She said, I don't know. That is exactly why she felt fear. Because she projected something in the fear, and she cannot know, is that vampire there or not? But if she turned the light, the fear, it's not go. Fear for the vampire is still there, and she will never be in the chance to confront it. Don't put a circle. Try to be so harsh and so mean that you want to provoke universe to give you something which you deserve. Attract, not banished. Invoke, not separate. The circle, it's a symbol of limitness, not limitation. When you are doing and repeating, circling, you are telling your mind, I am in my very small room, I am secure, I will be here for the rest of my life, and the fate will not come to me. Fate you need. Whatever it needs to grow you, and it will include bad things as the good ones, is coming to you with the circle or not. By the drawing a circle for the banishment, you are just lowering your selfhood in the place it does not serve. You need to be open and ready. Even if the death is the price for the final ritual, would you do it? If you know that if I give you a ritual, which will eventually and certainly give you a knowledge and conversation of your holy guardian angel, but after that, my daughter will die, will you do it? Ask yourself. If you do it, you have one button and you will have all the happiness in the world by the price of the life of your close people. Will you do it? Until you are not ready to push that button, and tomorrow I said to you that my child is dead, you will never reach attainment of knowledge and conversation. Because both her death and your knowledge, it's a part of one global oneness. You are not doing it. You just think that you did it. But the moment you are free to say, okay, if that is the destiny, I will push that button. Before the pushing the button, you will be already enlightenment when you will be ready to do that. It is not the button who will destroy my daughter. My daughter have the fate to be destroyed, not by you, by the universe. So, be free. Be free to do everything. What is the cost for your success? Not believing that universe will respond. You are universe consequence of billions of years before you. Now, finally ready to meet the final enlightenment, the final realization. Not because you are doing the banishment circle around you from the billions of particles, atoms, electrons all around you. We are not aware and not know what the materia it's made of. But, you know, Dushan is building a lesser banishment ritual of the Pentagram, and demons cannot crush him. How much you think that circle will last? For a day? 2 days? 5 days? And then you need to do it again and again. How much you think you can skip the fate? For the eternity? Think about it. Change the way you practice. I'm professor in the school, and I can speak eternally. I can more speak eternally than that fate which eventually need to push you. So I think now it's better to have a pause so you can rest a little bit from my story, so we can speak about more practicing thing. We need a scrying thing. We have a lots of things to speak. I'm sorry, sometimes I need to give a motivational push so I can just say why I did something. Without it, it will be just, it will be movies without the music. It will be boring. So I need sometimes, you know, like every professor when speak about the subjects, to divide from the subjects so you can lose an hour of speaking. But eventually everything that I speak will come to an essence. Sometimes, of course, I speak more words because my English, it's not my primary language, and it is sometimes impossible for me to speak about subjects like this, very paradoxical, very abstract, because I am not know how to speak them in my own language, not in the English. So 5 minutes and maybe more for the coffee, for the water, and we are back on the track. Okay.